Hey kindergarten, today we're going to work on our blooming base 10 count and color up to 20 worksheet. So I'm going to give you some examples that are not, they're not on the worksheet, or they're not in the order that it's on the worksheet. So we're going to do it together on my board here. And I apologize that the ones don't completely match up to the 10s. I just drew them quickly. So what it's saying is that we know that we have 10s and we have 1s. And 10s, all they are 10 cubes, 10 ones stacked on top of each other and put into one group, because it's faster to count by 10s than it is by 1s. And when we have two, the reason we have two different ones is because they're a different value. So when we write a number, we have to have a chart that will separate a number. So for example, if I have the number 19, I can put each number on either side of our chart. We have one group of 10 and 9 ones. For the number 10, I would do one group of 10 and 0 ones. So for our worksheet, we've got to color that value that is on the flower. Our first number is 10. So I could color 10 ones, but it would be much faster to just color in this group of 10. So I'm going to color in all of those cubes, and I have a value of 10. Here, if I were to do my chart and I have the number 12, I have one group of 10, color the whole thing in, and then I have to look at my ones, which is 2. So I'm going to color 2 of the cubes. Pretty simple, right? So here, why didn't we have any ones to color in? Because when we look at the number, if we separate it, there is a 0 in the ones place. So I won't have any ones to color in because we've grouped them as a 10. So if I have 17, gonna erase that number and write it in my chart. One group of 10, it didn't change. And the only way it would change is if I were to add another group, which I haven't done. And all of these numbers will only have one group of 10 because we're working up to only the number 20. And they're actually less than 20 because in order to be 20, we would need two 10s. So I have my 10s, and now I've got to do my ones. 1, 2, 3. They don't have to be perfect. 4, 5, 6, 7. And it really doesn't matter which 7 I colored. I could have colored up here instead of doing these 2 down here, but that was just the way I wanted to organize it, so it was a little bit more neat and not scattered. It's easier to count that way. So you can do it in a different way when you do it, but try to be as neat as possible so that way I'm not having to count and figure out, uh-oh, he made a mistake or she made a mistake because they colored the wrong ones. But then I forgot to write how many 10s. So I have 1 10 and 0 ones. Oops. 1 10 and 2 ones. 17 is 1 10 and 7 ones. And the last one is 15. So I'm going to write it in my chart. I've got 1 10 and 5 ones. So let me write that down. 1 10, 5 ones. So now I've got a color. 1 10 and 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, notice that I didn't spend a lot of time coloring, but I made sure that I colored it all in, but I tried my best to stay in the lines and to color as much as I could in without spending forever on getting it done. Because this shouldn't take you a long time. what I want you to do, and the reason we practice this is because the more we practice, even if we think we know it, we could still make a mistake. And mistakes are okay, but the more we practice, the stronger we become at our skills. And that's why I suggest that you guys work in IXL. And I have to tell you that I'm very proud of a lot of you. You're working really hard in IXL, and I can see what you do. And I'm seeing that you're doing a lot of numbers, of a lot of problems, and you're not getting very many wrong, which means that you're getting stronger in your skills because you're practicing more. And if you've ever heard the phrase that says, practice makes perfect, well, we're never going to be perfect, but the more we practice, the better we become, and the smarter we become, and then more ready we are for first grade, because we're almost in first grade. We only have a few more weeks in kindergarten, and then we will be first graders. So we want to make sure that we practice as much as we can and get our skills as strong as we can. And we practice even the things that we're pretty confident in, and we think we know already. Because if we don't practice, we might forget it, because if you don't use it, you lose it. And so we want to keep our minds sharp and our brains thinking. And so we're going to keep practicing. So again, for your worksheet, you're going to look at the number on the flower, color it on the place value blocks, and then write the numbers on the tens and ones. Hopefully this helped to explain what to do. If you need any extra help, please join me for my office hours today from 1 to 2:30. And don't forget that your reading assignment is to do the IG family. I can read a simple story. So all of the words in the story that we're focusing on are going to have the ig, I-G sound in the words. And I hope you guys have a great day. Bye, guys.